Good evening, guys. Welcome to Repose, a gaming podcast about death. Because what the fuck else is a gaming podcast supposed to be about? I am your host, Killian, and joining me are my two other hosts.
My name is Jaden Knight. I go by Jade.
Am I supposed to? Was that it? That was so quiet.
Come on.
Hey guys. My name's Tiago. I go by Tiago on PSN and Tiago on Xbox Live.
There you go. How's everybody's evening?
It has gotten more interesting by the minute.
Yeah, it's going.
That was a smooth intro.
I expected a wreck. I did not expect a wreck that early.
There's bodies everywhere.
Death. I did say it was about death.
He said it was about death, and that death toll quickly added up there.
All right. So, what is this podcast about? Like, what are we trying to achieve?
I would say that we're going to talk about the shit that matters to us as real life human being gamers instead of like the mass media gamers that people listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a good, genuine way to like hear what three very different gamers kind of like have to say about stuff that's going on in gaming or just any other sort of like pop culture stuff. So,
and by different, we mean different. We are completely different from each other. Like, I am the polar opposite of Tiago over here.
Yes.
I would say I'm the polar opposite of both of you, but because I don't have a penis.
There you go.
That is correct.
That is the truth.
As far as you guys know.
Yes. I don't know this, but I made the assumption. I know assumptions make people look like asses, but I'm willing to take that risk.
No, I mean, I think we're all, like, the three of us, we all enjoy very similar things, but
we're all very different.
We're all very different. We all have like different tastes in games, even though we all play some of the same games together.
That's actually how we all met each other, is playing games.
This is true.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
People say that games make people less social, and I completely disagree with that.
Yeah. I've met the majority of like my closest friends through gaming. So
gaming is the only way I have a social conversation.
You should see him in person. Yeah.
So, does anyone have anything that they want to share about
themselves? We could get into what happened this week in gaming. So I'm sure, I know that you know this, Killian, but basically we got the news that the Telltale Game Studios is, for all intents and purposes, shutting down. The new Walking Dead game will have 2 episodes that are going completely unfinished. And it's funny to me because I was looking at my memories on Facebook, as the kids do. And about 2 or 3 years ago, I had posted something. It was like an open letter to game developers saying, please, for the love of all that's holy, stop episodic games.
Oh, yeah?
And I got my wish 2 years later.
Unfortunately, I don't think, like you said earlier, it's going to work for Final Fantasy VII.
That is true. Final Fantasy VII don't care. Square Enix doesn't care what other people are doing as far as gaming goes. They will always march to the beat of their own messed up yet endearing drum.
And everyone's going to eat it all up.
Begrudgingly,
Final
but yes.
Fantasy. I mean, I read about the Telltale thing, I want to say like a day or two ago. I was on Google and just kind of like reading different articles and stuff. And I've never played an episodic games myself. I know those Telltale games are popular, but I mean, I never, after I kind of read what was going on, I was like, what are I've heard about this, I know what it is, but like, what actually is it? And I like started like just Google searching what these like Telltale games are, and they're just kind of like click and point sort of like story based games. Is that correct? Are they all the same like click and point type of thing?
You're basically playing a comic book. All of
Yeah,
them
okay.
are like decision-driven style games where consequences may not be seen until the fourth or fifth episode of the actual game itself.
And that's
Gotcha.
what drives me away from those games, is just that it doesn't have a conclusion. And I'm not the person that can play a game for a period of time and then pick it up a few months later down the line. Like, if I play, especially an RPG, I need to play it through to completion, because otherwise I'm just gonna become unfocused and it's not gonna matter to me anymore.
So basically, what you're saying is you play to completion.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds about right. But what I will say is the stories in the games were really good. So it is in a way sad that another developer basically bites the dust. The stories were really good in them, especially if you play A Wolf Among Us, which is based off of the Fabletown comic books.
Hmm.
The stories are really good. My biggest problem with the episodic games is you basically get one episode on a disc for $30, and you have to buy 4 or 5 more episodes to complete the game, or you have to wait basically a year until the full version of the game comes out on disc, which I think is bullshit.
Is each episode on a disc? Is that what you're saying?
No, there is like episode 1 will be on the disc,
Oh, and the
and
rest are
then
DLC.
rest will come out whenever the developer feels like they're done. So it could be 2 months to 3 or 4 months before the next episode comes out, which you'll have to buy. Which I want to say they're usually $10 to $15 each episode. So think about that. So you get one episode on a disc, which is let's be generous and say it's $20 for the disc.
Okay.
And then say the episodes run 5 episodes long. On the low end, that's an additional $50. That's more than what brand new games come out as
Yeah, it's
for a full
ridiculous to me.
story.
So,
So that's why I hate them.
yeah, I mean, thinking about it in just like it's for a gamer, it's not the most cost effective way to enjoy a game, right? Like just like paying for parts of a game like over the course of like a few months. Do you feel like other games, like for example, like Destiny 2. Let's talk about Destiny 2 for a little bit. They've released like these sort of like expansions. I don't what they consider expansions, I don't really consider an expansion. Like just from an expansion means like you're getting like another game almost, right? And you're paying like $20-$30, right? I feel like and the way that Destiny's done it, it almost feels like episodic a little bit, right? Because they've released an expansion like every 3 or 4 months, and you see like more developers like doing this type of thing. We have what's this game coming out in February? Anthem. A lot of people feel like Anthem is going to follow sort of that same pattern, like once it releases and stuff like that. Do you guys feel that this sort of trend in like releasing an expansion so frequently makes sense for people? Do you feel like most gamers like that we play with are upset about it? What do you guys think is the...
Well, to be fair, in Destiny's case, they put out an expansion pass that covers the first 2 expansions. It was the same thing with the original Destiny. And that lasted a year. It wasn't necessarily every few months. It was basically once every 6 months for all intents and purposes. The expansions came out. That being said, the Destiny 2 expansions were garbage. They were a joke and they weren't worth the money. It was a very small amount that was opened up. The storyline in Warmind made hardly any sense at all. What I will say, though, is Forsaken was really good, but it wasn't included in that expansion pass. So now we have an expansion for a game that has an expansion for the expansion. It's getting ridiculous. We need to put our foot down on this shit.
I hate this because I've told you this before, but they added the season pass to the expansion.
Yeah, it's an expansion for the expansion. And it's no sense.
This, I swear, I keep saying this over and over. This is just going to open up the floodgates Developers are going to follow suit. They're going to see an additional way to get money out of its consumers. I get that $60 is probably not enough, especially for games
A AAA game.
Yeah, no, for games that don't sell that much. But for one of those AAA games, a game that's going to sell millions and millions, $60 is more than enough. And
but here's a counterpoint to that. Sorry to interrupt, but you have to remember that these are online games, which means that they never end. So there are people that work at these studios that are constantly developing on these games. Yeah. So that $60, that one-shot deal, it's not going to keep paying them to, keep the game running, if that makes sense. So I understand the expansion pass thing, but this last one, the last one is ridiculous.
It might make sense, but like if you make a good game, people are gonna buy it and they're gonna talk about it, and it's gonna create a chain reaction, and you're just gonna get more people coming in. And I feel that if you make a really good game, that people are gonna flock towards it.
That's true. But in Destiny's case, it's people love to hate it.
Yeah.
It's just like I bought the full Forsaken with annual pass because I'm a sucker and because I know people that I'm friends with that are going to be playing it for a while, you, Killian.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that I have all that stuff and I don't have to go out and buy it separately and blah, blah, blah.
I've been playing a unhealthy amount of Destiny these last few weeks.
Here's the thing, though, and this will tell you how far that expansion pass, like Tiago was saying, goes, is for the first time in recent memory, Nintendo has started doing expansion passes. And they never do. First expansion pass was one of the first games that ever came out on their system, which was Breath of the Wild. And then they had it for Harvest Moon had an expansion on both the PS4 and the Switch. Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles has an expansion. Smash is going to have something very similar. So it's interesting to see how long it took Nintendo to kind of pick that up. But now that Nintendo's doing it, it's almost like a free-for-all. And I'd like to throw this out there. Thanks, EA.
Nintendo's funny.
My thing with the way that Nintendo has done expansion passes, I think Nintendo has done expansion passes in a really good way, and in a really smart and effective way. Because, for example, the Breath of the Wild expansion pass didn't get released for almost close to like a year after the game
came out that fall. The first one. Actually, no, it came out in summer, and then the last one came out in the fall. So it was that year.
So there was two of them? Okay. But, like, it's giving, like, they're releasing the game, right? Like, I played Breath of the Wild. I didn't beat it. I kind of got bored of it. But, like, that game, there's, like, so much to do, and you can go on and on for months without even having to buy the expansion pass.
100% agree.
Right. With Destiny, like, when Destiny released last year.
No, you're talking Destiny 2. There is a difference. Yeah, that's two different games.
So the only Destiny I've played was Destiny 2. So I just call it Destiny. I'm sorry. But when Destiny 2 released last year, there was a lot of things going on, like articles, and even with us when we were playing, a lot of people felt like within the first 2-3 weeks they kind of did everything, and they were just kind of like there was like this big dry spell going on in Destiny until like December when I believe it was December when Curse of Osiris came out, and that only lasted people like a few more weeks, and they had to wait like a few more months till Warmind, etc. But I feel like with the amount of content that Nintendo has in like some of these games, like Harvest Moon, that's a game that has a shit ton of content. Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, like just the base game has a ton of stuff, especially if you like grinding and like trying to collect all those core crystals and stuff like that before you even have to think about getting the expansion. I haven't even gotten the expansion pass on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've just been playing.
If you don't mind me to interject as far as like taking away from the Destiny thing, I would like to just point out, because you had mentioned the game, I absolutely love Xenoblade Chronicles 2. As you both know, I have put over 180 hours now into the regular version of the game.
Mhm.
So this is what absolutely blew my mind. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2, The Golden Country, came out just recently. Like the physical copy came out recently. It's $40, right?
Mhm.
You in this box, you get a cartridge for Torna the Golden Country, and you get a coupon for the season pass of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which you cannot use unless you have the core game of Xenoblade Chronicles. This is, I think, a bad move in Nintendo's part because the season pass for Xenoblade Chronicles, did anybody remember off the top of their head how much that was?
I think it was $30 maybe.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was $30. We might be wrong there, just saying. So say it was $30. Well, to get Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Torna Golden Country with the season pass, it's $40, right? But if you buy Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and the expansion pass, you get the Golden Country with the expansion pass.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it's weird because like half of the content that you're getting for that $40, you can't use it because it's only if you have the base game. That being said, we all kind of understand that most people who are buying this game already have the base game,
Yeah.
but it's just weird that they would do it that way.
I think I think the reason they did it that way, I'm just making a guess, but like for example, like someone like me, right? There's probably a few people out there that played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, played the crap out of it, didn't get the season pass, kind of skipped out on it, and now they're sort of getting the chance to kind of get back into the game. Hey, the game came out, you were probably gone six months, 5 months, or whatever. Here's a chance for you to get back into the game. You're gonna get the season pass, and you're gonna get this new expansion that we just released. Like, I feel like they're kind of marketing it to those people versus trying to get new people to play the game. Now, I'm sure they're always looking for new people to go in and start playing the game, but I feel like with this, the way that they did it, I think they were sort of trying to get people back into the game. Like, you know what I mean?
I can see that, but I can also see from a perspective like buyer standpoint who doesn't know a whole lot about games that
Right.
could cause serious issues if
They don't know what they're getting.
exactly.
Makes sense. Well, I have a interesting story I want to read for you guys. Well, it's not a story, it's an article. Moving along.
It's a story.
So there's this product. It's pretty much lotion for gamers. And this is called Gamer Goo. Right?
Is this sexy time lotion for gamers or regular lotion?
Well, so this is what this guy says on the article. Getting the goo on my hand was an unexpected emotional roller coaster.
Stop. Maybe we should insert a warning for like M-rated content right now.
It is
just
very
in case.
thin and watery when it first goes on.
Oh my god, stop.
Much more than your conventional
Wait, much more than your what?
conventional moisturizer,
Okay. I heard that totally different.
which was initially alarming. My mind flew back. My original assumption that the Gamer Goo was uncomfortably literal gag. And I just squirted it all over my hands.
Stop,
I don't know if this is meant to be a joke, but this had me cracking up the first time I read it.
So this is a
feel
product
like
called Gamer Goo?
I need to go to like confessional or something because I feel dirty now just by reading that.
After a few seconds of rubbing it, grew very sticky, like a thick puddle of spilled orange juice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you need to go to the doctor.
What is Gamer Goo? Like, I need
Breathe, Killian, breathe.
It is lotion, and I think I'm gonna get some for you guys.
So it is sexy time lotion then.
No, it's for gaming. It literally makes it so that when you grip your controller,
That's what the kids are calling it these days.
you grip your controller and it makes it so that you're not slipping if you get.
What the? Who needs this? Like, what is wrong with you that your controller is slipping out of your hand?
I don't know, but this is freaking hilarious.
You know what? I think I would appreciate that because, like, when I play fighting games like Tekken or something, and I'm really into it, and I'm trying to pull off like these crazy combos in like the middle of a heated match, like my palms get sweaty. My palms get sweaty, and they like start like
weak.
Stop.
Mom spaghetti.
My palms get, and they like slide like around the controller. So maybe I'll start using some games like fighting games.
Oh my god.
To just to give you some ease of mind, Faye, it doesn't stay sticky. It gets powdery.
Oh my god!
You know
this
what?
person needs to see a doctor.
Let's move on. I will keep that.
No, we're gonna stay on this for a while because no, it actually broaches an interesting subject as far as like the weird things that come out for gamers, like the new Xbox controller. Have you heard about this shit?
No, I have not.
Okay, so Microsoft is releasing a grease-free controller.
A grease? Do controllers have grease? Like what?
No, but your
I'm
hands
assuming
do.
when your hands.
It's to prevent like staining and like hopefully hand goo, because I don't know if you guys clean out your controllers, but you should because it's disgusting. But apparently it's to make it so your controller doesn't get greasy. And this is a thing that Microsoft put money into. I have to give them props though, because they made that inclusive controller. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, the adaptive controller.
Yeah, that's what it's called. The adaptive controller. It's for people that have had like some kind of disability or whatever, so they can still play video games, which I think is absolutely amazing considering it's Microsoft, because Microsoft likes money. Everybody does. Anyway, but I think that's really awesome that they had put money into that. But then on the flip side of the coin, they're like, how can we make our controllers less greasy?
Grease repellent.
Grease repellent.
And PlayStation's over here like, I don't care. Nobody else can make our controllers except for Scuff for $200.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I will say though, I was Scuff website and I was looking at some of the customizations available for like the PS4 controllers, and they're really nice. I might have to get one.
It's a Microsoft brand controller for cheaper, or for more money, not cheaper.
Well, if you're looking to buy your first bottle of Gamer Goo lotion, it comes in 3 different flavors. I don't know.
Did you say fucking
Scents?
flavors?
Do you mean scents?
Probably scents. There's cinnamon, peppermint, and orange. Just this is for your hands. Make sure.
I think I would like the cinnamon one.
For your hands. Make
I
sure
bet
do
you
not
would.
swallow this. This is not for your mouth. It's for your hands.
So did they have to put that disclaimer on there, like not for oral use?
You know, when our friend Tiago gets his bottle, he will be sure to.
You should totally get one so you can do a review on how the Gamer Goo is.
Yeah. You know what? I will get one.
I'll review it on the episode.
I will get one for each of you. Is there a particular flavor scent that
I'm feeling orange.
Ew.
Orange.
Cinnamon for me. Cinnamon.
I guess
all
I'll
day.
do the peppermint. We could all talk about it at some point.
Oh my god. How much is this like retailing for, does it say?
I don't know. I will find that out while we move on to our next subject.
Oh, I don't know if I can top that one.
Gamer Goo.
Maybe I can with some Gamer Goo. But
oh my god.
I actually mentioned this to you guys before. A game that I had found that I thought that both of you would be super into. It's in development. There's no official release date or any timeline on it yet. As of right now, I don't think the name is going to change, but as of right now, it's called Project Awakening. It's actually interesting because it's made by Cygames, who did the Grand Blue Fantasy Project, which is more of a mobile.
Heard about this.
Yeah, it's from what I've seen and from what I've read, it's a little bit of Dark Souls mixed with Monster Hunter Worlds. And as we all know, since I played with you guys are definitely Monster Hunter fans.
Absolutely love those 2 games.
But this, the video that they posted was absolutely amazing. There's actually a PlayStation lineup tour video. and it looks like he's
Yes,
facing
yes,
down like a
yes.
dinosaur or something.
Yes,
It looks
this-
beautiful.
I have
It
not seen
looks
this.
okay. This you just like sparked like a thing in my head, and I'm like, I think yes, like I saw like this little clip thing that they released. It's amazing. Like not it looks beautiful, but what really like sparked my eye, like what like got my attention was the animations. Anytime that a game has like really amazing like lifelike animations, there's this one scene where he's like fighting this dragon lizard thing, and it like smacks him against a wall, and the way that his body hits the wall and he collapses to the ground, I have never seen animations or mocap like that ever in my life. That was like top quality shit right there, like gamer boner, like
Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely beautiful. And if you like super good physics in video games, Tiago, you should check out the testicle physics on the horses in Red Dead Redemption 2.
I heard about
no
that.
thank you. No thank you.
The horses poop
Yep.
dynamically.
Yep, and if you climb up into the mountains with them where it gets cold, their balls shrivel up.
I think 2 completely.
For those of you who have never experienced the phenomenon of ball shrinkage, play this game. You will see it.
You'll see it in live action.
You
That's
will
how
see it in
works.
live action. It is exactly how it happens to us.
Can we?
But yeah, if you guys get a second, definitely like anybody that may be listening or whatever, if you get a second, check out the video on Project Awakenings on YouTube, the trailer for the PlayStation lineup tour.
It's
It is
amazing.
absolutely beautiful.
We do have a Discord. It is Game Repose. I will find a way to put this link out somewhere. We have a Twitter. Oh, everything is at Game Repose. I'll try to put it on there as well. Just we'll get these links and this information for you guys readily available.
So I got a question for you, Killian and Mr. U Tiago.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys come up with your gamer tags?
Killian, do you want to go first or?
Sure. So my gamer tag is not actually Killian. It's a weird, long, intricate name that I detest because I was young when I made my PSN, and they still do not allow you to change that. And I think it has something to do with trophies. That's the reason why you can't change your
I'm gonna
PSN
go with
name yet.
PlayStation wants us to suffer. when we
The
choose stupid
the
names.
thing with PlayStation is every time that this issue gets addressed with like the changing of your PSN ID, blah blah blah, it's always a different reason. It's always a different reason that they don't want to let people do it. So who knows why? I'm sure at the end of the day it comes down to some sort of money situation because that's all I can think of. But
From what I've read, it's because of the trophies, and they're apparently using some spaghetti code. But for my name, Killian, this came from Final Fantasy. I had bad experiences with people not being able to pronounce my gamer tags or PSN names, and so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna make it easy. Let's go with Killian. And that's literally the inception of it.
it's funny because like with his gamer tag, the one that he detests, when I met him, that was what his gamer tag was. And I mean it still is, but like I recognized it, and I was like, oh, this guy's using the same. I've never seen that, and I immediately knew what it was. So like that's how I guess like we sort of became friends. But for my gamer tag, Tiago, there I don't know if both like either of you have seen this movie, but there's a Brazilian film that was released in like the early 2000s called City of God. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen
That
that.
sounds very familiar. I might have.
It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's amazing. I saw it when I was maybe like 10 or 12. It's called City of God, and one of the characters in the movie, the protagonist's best friend, his name is Tiago, and I've always liked that name. I always had like, yeah, I've always really liked it. And when I played my first MMO, with Killian, which was Ion, I needed to come up with a name, and every time I put in like a name for my character, it was like it's already in use, it's already taken, blah blah blah. So I put in Tiago and changed the spelling, and added a Y to the name, and nobody has that. Like I promise you, if you look up that name, I am probably like one of the only people in the world with that name. And so I've just kind of been using Tiago ever since. I now use Soki on some things, but Tiago is kind of like my go-to because it's usually a safe name that no one has.
And for that, it's super easy to find him. He's everywhere as Tiago, probably.
Stalk him.
Yep.
Stalk him, find him.
Yep.
Show him love.
Except on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm not Tiago. I should probably.
Go ahead and tell us what your Twitter is. I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
Yeah.
What about you, Jade? How about you?
Well, mine is kind of my personality, I guess. Mine is Jade Knight on everything. Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, every gaming platform that there is, that is what my name is. It's actually funny because it's because I'm an extremely jaded person. And I'm usually up at night. Very simple, very straightforward. I am jaded at night and during the day and when I'm breathing. But I've been... Right, yeah, I'm super jaded right now. I'm still thinking about Gamer Goo.
By the way,
jaded.
Which throws me off when, like, I see, not Gamer Goo. Gamer Goo will never throw me off. But when I see, like, so many people now, it seems like are naming their male children Jaden, which bothers me as I've had that gamer tag since I was like, you guys don't need to know how long I've had it because that would age me. So never mind.
20 years.
Yeah, shut up. For a while, let's just go with that. And
2 decades.
I feel like it's mine. It's my name. Nobody else should have it, and they should, give me royalties when they use it.
What?
I completely agree with you.
Wow,
there can only be one Jaden.
That escalated from "this is my name" to "I want royalties." Like what?
Well, get money where you can get money. That's what I say.
Random topic, but I know everyone's favorite game is Final Fantasy 15, and
Wait,
they're releasing more DLC coming up. And yes, they're releasing four more episodes of DLC, and they're going to be doing a crossover event with, drumroll please, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
No.
Are you serious? Like, we're talking Final Fantasy 15, right?
Final Fantasy 15 will be having a crossover event with Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
This is
all
insane.
I want to do is just cook in that game. Like, sit at my camp with my Colemans and, eat ramen noodles from my cup of noodles. So much product placement in that game.
I've come up with a new recipe.
Nice segue. What has everybody been playing? And Jaden, since you've been talking about Tomb Raider, how is it?
I absolutely love it. I realized that at one point while I was playing it, I spent almost 6 hours in the same city, doing nothing to do with the main quest at all. I was just trying to find crypts and tombs, and the tombs are standard Tomb Raider fare, where there's puzzles and stuff that you have to solve. The interesting thing about Tomb Raider, though, is they have multiple ways that you can set the difficulty level in it. You can set the combat to be one level, the exploration to be one level, and the puzzles to be one level, which I thought was really cool.
That is
so my puzzles are like super high, like as high as I can get them, and my combat is standard and my exploration is standard, because I like that style of difficulty as far as, having to think when you're playing video games instead of just hack and slash.
More games should take that approach, because not everybody has the same skill level. And it's a
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dark Souls will stay difficult forever and always.
When I heard that Shadow of the Tomb Raider was offering like that sort of difficulty options and stuff like that for each aspect of the gameplay, I thought that was really interesting. And it kind of encourages more people to play some of the game. I also played the second Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I played the very first one in like this reboot thing. And I did feel like some sections with some of the puzzles felt too easy at times. Unlike the original Tomb Raiders, like back in like on the PlayStation era, where some of those puzzles and like traversal stuff was like really difficult trying to navigate like what to do and where to get the thing. So I think it's really cool that they're doing that. Hopefully, other developers will kind of see that and say, "Hey, let's try this out."
I think I'm gonna have. I get gamer depression. I don't know if anybody else gets that, but it's like when how you feel after you beat a game, where you feel really accomplished because you beat it, but at the same time, you know that game is never going to be new to you again. So it's almost like depressing.
I had really bad gamer, and now that you put bad gamer depression, when I beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I was in a dark place for like 2 weeks, but yeah.
I don't think I've ever experienced gamer depression, but I guess if you're feeling depressed about gaming, you can buy some gamer goo for $16. That is how much it is going for.
That's
oh my god,
a little
that's
pricey.
super. I don't know. That's super reasonable for having sticky and then silky smoothness.
The slogan is "Stop sweaty hands at the source and increase your grip" for hours.
Oh, I am leaving that alone.
Back to our topic. The game that I've been playing recently is Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah?
I know it's a game that is really hot right now. Everyone's been playing it. It's really, 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 really good. I'm actually surprised at how well the story kind of comes together. It's just they kept a lot of genuine like elements in there. The whole premise of the story is that this isn't like a intro to Spider-Man. The Peter Parker that's in this game, he's already been Spider-Man for a long time, so he kind of already knows what to do. So like throughout the game, you see like an experienced Peter Parker. But the story just flows really well. They introduce some characters in there like Miles, Mary Jane is in the game. You have a really wide cast of villains, which is like amazing. Some of the villain, like the boss fights themselves, were like mind blown. The combat is really fun. That's probably like the thing that I love the most. It feels really easy to like just beat up a bunch of bad guys, but it's very difficult to master. I mean, like Spider-Man, he's a superhero, but like I think I was talking to Killian about this earlier today. He's a superhero, but he's also Spider-Man. Like super strength is not his like, his forte.
Yeah.
Like if he gets punched in the face, you're gonna lose a chunk of health. If he gets shot, that's like 85%, 75% of your health gone. If he gets fired at with like a rocket launcher, you're dead. You know what I mean? So
how is the exploration? Have you been exploring much of the map and whatnot?
Yes, the map is huge. The map is all of Manhattan. So it's enormous.
Have you seen the little Easter egg? There's this theater somewhere in the game. And it says,
will you marry me?
Maddie, will you marry me?
Yes. I haven't seen it myself. I haven't gone out and like tried to find it, but I know about what happened with that. So if anyone's listening, basically, guys, this back in April or May, this fan he tweeted Insomniac, and he was like, would you guys help me propose to my girlfriend? I really want to marry this girl. Can you guys help me out with something? I have an idea. Insomniac kind of reached out to him, and basically what came out of that was they put his proposal in the game. So there's like a specific movie theater in the game that you can go to, and outside it says, Maddie, will you marry me? But unfortunately, what happened with this situation is that 2 weeks before the game came out, his girlfriend broke up with him. And not only did she break up with him, but she left him for his brother, which is like, yikes. So Insomniac kind of found out about it because he tweeted it. The guy posted a video, and they offered to kind of change the sign or edit it or something. But I haven't gone to go look at it myself. But yeah, that sucks.
The guy actually declined for them to take it out, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he told them to just leave it in the game. But what's interesting to me is that everybody is like, oh, where did Insomniac come from? And like, how did they put together this game? Insomniac has been in like a game developer since 1996.
Yeah, that's
they did the Ratchet series, Ratchet and Clank series, the Resistance series. They did the Sunset Overdrive, which was a launch title for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
They've done a ton of games. So for people to be like, oh, well, here's this new developer coming out of nowhere with Spider-Man, they have been doing this.
Yeah.
They have made some really good games. I remember Resistance when it came out, and I think it was 2006, I want to say. It was gorgeous on the PlayStation 3, and it was one of those games that was like a defining game for the PlayStation.
For the PS3,
yeah. It was really, really, really good. It's strange that this is the actually Song of the Deep, I think. No, Sunset Overdrive was the first game that they branched out of from exclusive to Microsoft. The rest of their games were pretty much all Sony games too.
You know, it's funny because like people are like, oh, Insomniac, this up and coming developer, nobody knows. And I'm like, I was playing Insomniac games like when I was like 8 or 9 on the PlayStation. Like, what? So, like,
they're also doing one of the most anticipated re-releases this year, which is the Spyro trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They made they made Spyro, Spyro 2, and Spyro Year of the Dragon, and it is going to be amazing.
I cannot wait for that. It looks so nice.
You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to.
Yeah, it did get pushed back till November. There's a lot of rumors going on as to why it got pushed back. The biggest one that I heard of was the quality check on the game pressings. Half the games weren't on the discs. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. That's just a rumor that I've heard, but I am okay with them pushing back the game as long as it's actually on my disc when I get it.
People get so fussy with delays, and I'm just like, I have no problem with delays because, like, when you're making, like, I think people don't realize, like, in a creative, like, career or when you're making something, things will always go wrong, like, constantly until, like, there's, like, a finished product, and, if you want to take 2 months, 3 months to get your shit together, by all means, like,
I would always prefer a delayed game than a rushed one.
All I'm going to say is Duke Nukem Forever when you guys make those comments. That's all I'm going to say.
I have been playing a shit ton of Destiny.
This is my surprised face right here. You can't see it, but it's surprised.
So I'm not shocked.
So Destiny 2 is also my first Destiny game. I started playing the first one. I don't remember anything about it. I think I played for maybe a few hours and then I quit. And I think I just quit because I wasn't playing with anyone else. I was just playing with myself. And a game like that, you don't want to play by yourself.
Gamer goo.
Oh, stop.
But, anyways.
What?
Destiny 2, when I first started playing this game, I was immediately blown away. I mean, I might be in the minority, but I was immediately blown away. So much so that I started texting everybody and telling them, yo, you need to get this game right now. I think I told Thiago that he needs to get the game as soon as possible because I saw the intro movie to the game. And I don't know. Do you remember what I told you, Thiago?
Yeah, you were just like, I don't know what you told me, but you were just like, you need to get this. Like, you need to start playing, like, ASAP. And I think I started playing, like, within a day of you telling me.
Yeah, literally. So this game, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it so much. The first part of it, I played it for as long as I needed to. We did the raid, us three.
Once.
We cleared it, and then we were done. We stopped playing it.
Everybody, not just us. Like, everybody in our entire group.
Our entire fire team.
The entire fire team stopped playing it. We were done. So, like, I hear a lot of complaints.
Except for
Kale?
Kale, yeah, he doesn't, yeah.
This is why I was able to justify the spending for the Forsaken expansion because I already put so much hours into it that I just felt like I needed to. The thing is that for the Forsaken, I don't even know how to put it into words, but I was so upset at first with the Forsaken because of what they did with the trailers and them announcing the death of the Cade Master.
That was the dumbest publicity stupid shit that Bungie could have done. That should have never been in the trailer.
Cade was mine and probably everyone else's favorite. So making his death seem like it was nothing. That's how it felt to me. Like it kind of I don't know. I felt like if it were not spoiled like that, it would have been 10 times more impactful or something. But one can argue that maybe that's what brought the gamers in. I don't know.
Like when I saw that they did that, I was just like, okay, they're clearly doing this to try to get people back on the game. Did it get people back on the game? Absolutely. There's been a ton more people playing Destiny since the last time I played, which was like last year pretty much. But yeah, I think for something so major like that, like for example, like Cade 6 being everyone's favorite character, like the most popular character, he brought so much personality to the game, especially to like the other two, like Zavala, Ikora, which are like very stoic, kind of boring characters. He was like that. He brought so much life to the game. So if they would have left that reveal out of the trailers and kind of like just shocked everyone, that would have like blown everyone's minds. But yeah, I mean, what Destiny has been going through a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people like left the game. They've gotten a lot of backlash from the community and everything that they've done with our favorite, Miss fucking Tess Eververse.
Fenchurch.
Oh God, stop! I should have never said the name. So like they needed something to bring people back, and that was what they resorted to.
That was it, the Cade. Well, yeah. So yeah, like there's this part in the Forsaken DLC or expansion, however you may call it, that it's called the Dreaming City, and there's just so much exploration you can do, and there's a bunch of secrets and whatnot, and that is me. Like you talk about secrets, and I'm like, hell yeah, I want to figure out all this shit, and that's I literally spent like 10 hours yesterday just playing Destiny, running around the Dreaming City, doing absolutely nothing, not progressing my level, not progressing anything, just looking for little nooks and crannies and
worms.
Treasure chests.
Were you looking for worms again?
The worms. So like the worms, I remember. What was it? We were running into the garden in the Dreaming City, and someone mentioned worms. I think
it was our friend Kale who had mentioned that one of the members of our fire team had seen a worm and he shot it and it triggered a bell and that blew everything up, and we searched for worms for about 2 to 3 hours that day.
Not only did it trigger a bell, but it triggered the Killian, because I spent the remaining time of the night or that night looking for fucking worms. We spent 2 hours before Jaden got off. I spent another 4 hours running around the damn garden looking for the rest of the worms. And then the next day, I wake up again to look for more worms. And it's just... So this is the type of shit that I like. And I think that's why... Yeah, I like worms. That's why I don't mind or didn't mind much.
That's kind of like how what I was doing with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There's so many like treasure things to find and so many survival caches and tombs and crypts and everything else other than the main game, and they put in not mini games, they put in side quests in Tomb Raider for the first time.
We love secrets, devs. We love secrets.
Yes.
We love side quests,
puzzles.
Just
Spider-Man has a collectibles. It has a ton of side quests, so that has kept me really busy too. But speaking of the Dreaming City, I think I actually am about to go there myself. I was doing the quest earlier today to get like this talisman thing energized or whatever, and I have to go meet Petra, and I think I'm finally gonna be able to go to the Dreaming City.
I will go to the Dreaming City with you.
Yeah, I have a campaign quest, so maybe we can do that later
I want to
tonight.
hear your reaction because this place is completely different to what anything else in the game looks like. Don't you think so,
Yeah,
Jake?
but like
It definitely is different than any other zone in the
I don't
game.
like getting hyped up because like it's really hard to surprise me and to shock me. So we'll see.
Did Gamer Goo surprise
Do
you?
you remember Jaden
Gamer
when
Game
Jesus,
Repose sponsored by Gamer Goo.
Stop.
stop
No,
that.
no.
Do you remember Jaden when I remember you was in the party, but the first time we went to Nessus and
Yeah.
Nessus was
Tiago
beautiful.
blew
Yes,
his mind. It blew his mind. Like, do you remember
I
his
had
reaction over the chat?
Yeah.
I had never seen anything like Nessus in a game before until I got on Destiny 2 and they were like, go to Nessus, and I went to Nessus and it was beautiful. To this day, it's like one of the most beautiful locations I think I've ever seen in a game ever. So yeah, I mean, if it's gonna top Nessus, then we'll see. But
I think
All
it'll
right.
easily top
So,
Nessus.
as far as you guys think, what do you think, in any of the games that you've played, has been the most graphically impressive game you've ever played?
Graphically impressive game.
Yep, mine is
That
Horizon Zero Dawn, hands down.
minus that game.
No, mine is that
Oh,
game.
my,
Horizon
okay.
Zero Dawn is the most beautiful game graphically that I've ever played.
I'm gonna. I think I might. I'm gonna have to agree with that. Horizon, in terms of just like detail and colors and just the way that it looks, like, realistically beautiful. Like, I will definitely say, like, it is like when you take a screenshot of that game and you look at it, you can't tell
It's a
sometimes.
picture.
You
Of a
can't
real
tell.
person.
It's you can't even tell sometimes if it's a game or if it's like a real life photograph. Like, it is absolutely beautiful. That game is amazing. Yeah, the just it's beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So, do you guys
But
think that at some point we're gonna? I feel like we're at it. We're at that cap. I don't think games can get better
Not until the
without.
next generation.
Well, not only to the next generation, but like what is it gonna become too realistic, or
Yep.
is there a point where we just have to draw a line?
Oh, hell no.
I mean,
No, don't draw lines. That's putting like a vice on people's imagination and their
Yeah, I
creativity
guess
and
that's
what they
true.
can do.
no, I mean,
Fuck
I
that.
think, as long as there are creators out there and they want to push themselves, let's see how far we can take it. That's my thing. But at the same time, I will always appreciate games that are artistically beautiful, not just realistic, but like a game like Journey that is just like so beautiful, but it has its own distinct art style, very abstract stuff. Like, I always appreciate games like that as well. But if you're talking about like how realistic, how photorealistic something can get, if creators want to push themselves and explore that, let them
I
let
thought
them
you were
up.
gonna say
I
Octopath.
was gonna say that Octopath Traveler.
Octopath, yeah, I mean, Octopath is another one. Just like, I thought like pixel games couldn't like had like the set meter of like how beautiful like they could be, but Octopath came out and was like, fuck that. Like, so yeah, Octopath
I
is
don't own a
beautiful.
Switch yet, but I plan on changing that pretty soon, and I'm definitely looking into picking up Octopath Traveler because
And Xenoblade. Do it.
I don't know if I would be into Xenoblade. Sorry,
Do it.
but I keep hearing everyone talking about the OST from Octopath Traveler, and that's just like what I love the most about games. I think is the music. The music draws me in.
Oh yeah, that game is music really is really good.
The OST in Octopath is really so well with the art style, but what I love so much as well is, even though the characters don't really interact with each other, each of their personalities and their stories is just like so charming. One of my favorite characters is what's his face? The black mage. Do you remember his name?
Cypress.
Cypress. I normally never go for like a mage in any game as my starting character. I'm not like a mage person, but in Octopath, I was like, you know what? Let me try this guy out. I kind of like his design, and from the beginning, like I fell in love with his character. So like the characters, the stories are really charming in the game, but yeah, the OST and the art style just like it's beautiful.
I bet you can guess who my starting character in that was.
The Huntress. What's her name?
Of course it was.
Yeah.
She is so overpowered in that game, guys. Seriously, if you haven't played Octopath, get her as soon as you can because she is ridiculously overpowered.
Both of
you. She has an attack. She has an attack that you can stun lock a boss and prevent a boss from attacking if you use it correctly. Like I've never seen a game do that. But if you use that skill correctly, you can actually stun lock a boss and prevent the boss from doing anything the entire fight, which is insane.
So, since both of you played this, who do you think I will play as first?
Ooh.
If you look at the characters and you go based off job, just based off their job, you're gonna go with the priest. She's the healer, so you'll probably just start off with that. Not only because like she's a healer, but like you also like difficulty, and I feel like starting off with her would be pretty difficult because she's sort of limited. So I feel like that's who would he.
I think he would go with either Black Mage or Thief.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
The thief storyline was really good. Theorem was great.
The Dancers one was super dark.
I haven't gotten to hers yet, but
it's one of those like, wow, you didn't. I mean, it's not expected in that style of game where it's like a very artistic, very old school RPG style game, and her story got dark real quick, like real quick. They don't even broach that subject in a lot of video games now.
Well, I know that I think her story is kind of based off revenge or something like that. That she's trying to avenge someone's death. Maybe
I am not going to confirm or deny, simply because that is a big part of her character. So I don't want to give out any spoilers.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
So I think it's safe to assume that everyone's favorite genre of video games in this chat is probably RPGs.
I would definitely say up there. I put a lot of hours of my life into RPGs, but I also love fighting games so much. So I would say like, RPGs and fighting games definitely like my two favorite.
Can we go subgenres of RPGs?
Yeah.
Well, like I like old school traditional turn-based RPGs. Like for example, Bravely Default was one of my absolute favorite old school RPGs. That being said, South Park Stick of Truth, also very old school RPG with adult overtones. But I like a lot of action RPGs, to be completely honest. Like give me like The Witcher 3, my god. Just I have a statue of Geralt of Rivia in my house right above my TV, so I get to see him every day.
I got that game. I got the complete edition. I played like a few hours of it, but haven't gotten back to it. I bought it maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I definitely want to at some point sit down and just play that game because I know it's really good.
Also a game I keep hearing about and have not played. Maybe one day.
Well, you know how a lot of people talk about having like 300 plus hours into Skyrim and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I have more than that into The Witcher, and I still haven't played the 2 expansions.
Oh, man. So you love this game so much, but you haven't played the expansion. Why is that?
It kind of goes back to the whole it'll never be new again thing. So I keep putting it off. It's the same thing with Persona 5. I'm like right at the end, but I can't bring myself to beat it.
This makes sense.
It does not make sense. I should just beat the damn game.
My thing with games like that is that they're just so big. Like they're just so massive. There's so much to do, and sometimes like that makes me feel a little bit overwhelmed. Like I like when a game has like a really big world to explore, but I also like when games kind of direct me, right? I'm not the Skyrim person that's just gonna go in. I want to like go anywhere I want from the very beginning. I like having a big world, but I also kind of like being told what to do. So like I appreciate games that have big worlds, but I also like games that have like somewhat of a
More
direction to follow
linearity.
the story. Yeah, like Horizon Zero Dawn did it really well. They gave a huge world, but they also directed me like where to go, what to do, and like as I went and did those things, more side missions, more things opened up, and I like that sort of. So The Witcher 3, when I played it, it overwhelmed me, and then I was like, I can't do this. So
I would absolutely agree, because the year that The Witcher 3 came out, does anybody else know what came out 2 weeks after that?
No.
Fallout 4.
Whoa.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I had put, by the time Fallout 4 came out, so mind you, it was like a week to 2 weeks. I can't remember the exact time frame, but I had already put in like 50 hours into The Witcher because, as you both know, I don't sleep much. So then Fallout came out, and I am so hardcore Bethesda fangirl. Like, they can just shut up and take my money for anything that they put out. Anything. I don't care if they do the Brink 2. Oh god, no, I do care. Don't make that a thing.
I remember when Brink first came out. Man,
shut up.
That game looks
No, we're not talking about Brink.
So good, but
No, it was terrible. Anyway,
yeah, I heard
so
things.
I lost my life to Fallout for like 3 months. Like, that's the only game that I played. And mind you, this was also the year that a whole bunch of really big games came out. And then I went back to The Witcher and I like loaded up my save, and I'm like, I have no idea how to play this game anymore, where I'm going, what to do. So I had to start completely over. I lost 50 hours of my life, like, just gone.
Yeah. That's why it makes me really afraid to get into a game like that, because I don't want to have to go through that.
Get into a game like that during like April,
season.
May, June, because
like
games are less likely to come out.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, October, I think there's 13 AAA titles coming out in October alone.
I know, there's so many games. Another dangerous season for games is like February to April. Like, I think last year, February to April, I bought like 6 games, and I was just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
6 games? That's all? Let's put it this way. I pay my bills. I buy food sometimes. but I always, like, every other week it seems like I'm buying a new game, and I don't know how I live. Because like October, I added up how much money I'm going to be spending in October, and let's just say it adds up to like 2.5 months rent.
Oh, that's crazy. Insane.
I don't have many vices. Actually, I have no vices. Video games is my only.
I think that's the thing with me. Like, when I play a game, I tend to spend a lot of time on that game, and I don't really play a lot of different games at the same time. Like, right now, I'm only playing 2 games, Destiny and Final Fantasy 14, and that's literally it.
That's the thing with Killian. Like, there are good games that have come out, and I'm like, Killian, you need to play this. You need to play it. But he will literally play like 1 or 2 games for like a straight 6 months. And like, all of these amazing games come out, and like, he sees them, but he doesn't.
I want to play them, but I'm just gonna wait.
And he'll wait and wait and wait. And then PS5 is gonna come out, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh well, look at these new games. Why should I go back and play these old games I never played?" This is an endless cycle with Killian.
That sounds like somebody else we know.
Yes,
I'm terrible for this as well, because I have the Humble Bundle, which is an amazing thing, and I get tons of games every month that I don't play. They just get added to my backlog.
I usually play 3 to 4 games at all times.
The thing is, like, I feel like you're a backlog. You actually have to go back and play them. You don't. You just
collect them for your library.
No, it's not entirely true, because I've had Prison Architect in my library for God knows how long, and I was just playing that. So
Stop. Just stop.
I also play a lot of little obscure games that no one knows about.
He likes graphic novels.
Graphic novels are good. Wait, you can count freaking Walking Dead from Telltale's like a graphic novel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like those episodic.
He plays those dating sims on Steam.
Yes, he does. I some of the things he's shown me are questionable. Some of those games that he's played, but yeah,
Hey, you gotta
Steam is.
try. I am never going to completely rule out a genre of game until I actually try something in it.
Well, of course.
Like I despise sports games because it is the same regurgitated thing every damn year with different player names every single year. But every once in a while, I will still get a sports game just to try it.
I feel like you guys kind of have like a little bit different experience with games, just because like you guys also play games on Steam and PC. I don't have a PC, so I only play console games, and we know that the games that have come out on console are very limited in like the genres that are released on console. So you guys see a lot of other shit that I've never seen before.
So you gotta make it your mission to get yourself a PC.
I know.
So, any final thoughts on the end of this wild journey of game reposing that we've done today?
Well, we still want, or we need to talk about your. When we first was talking about this, I asked Jaden what does she think we should talk about, like for a topic, and she said, "What game or series has impacted your life?" Either positively or negatively.
Brink impacted my life negatively.
What did Brink do to you?
What I mean by that is like, I guess what made it that gaming became a big thing to you? Like what was that game that you played that you're like, I want to keep doing this? You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
No. For me, I want to say, growing up, I mean, I had a Sega and a Nintendo and stuff like that, and I played games. I played all those games. But it wasn't until I got a PlayStation, and I played a lot of games on the PlayStation. But what really got me hooked into spending multiple hours on games and like just trying to do every little thing, I'm definitely gonna give it to Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 8 was the first Final Fantasy game I played. Then I played 7, 9, 10, and so on and so forth, and all of that. So like that series, and not just that series, but like those early SquareSoft games, were just so amazing. You know, you think about it, like I was like 8 or 9 when these things were like coming out, 10, 12. So it was just so much like they literally changed like the way I thought about games. I never played games didn't tell a story to me until I started playing Final Fantasy. You know, games didn't, you know, the things that were happening to the characters in the games didn't matter to me until I played Final Fantasy.
I think that trend started with PlayStation as well, because Final Fantasy was one, and I think Metal Gear Solid was one as well.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And, I don't remember. No, Kingdom Hearts came out in PlayStation 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah, but yeah, Final Fantasy, like Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Metal Gear, all of those like big hits that are still going on now were games that really, I think, changed people the way they interacted with games, and kind of viewed games and stuff like that.
I think ever since I was little, I played video games. But the only time I played a game that it's just changed me, I think, literally was
Final Fantasy X.
Rock Band 3.
What? No. I
thought
you were gonna say Final
Band fucking
Fantasy
3. I know you thought that it was gonna be Final Fantasy X, because yeah, that game was amazing and I loved it, and it is my favorite Final Fantasy game. But Rock Band 3, like, I used to listen to like not very many different genres of music and whatnot. I didn't care much about music. I mean, I've always loved video game music and whatnot, but when I started playing Rock Band 3, I'm like, holy shit, what is all this? My mind exploded, and I
started playing drums.
I started playing all these little instruments. Like they're on Rock Band, they're not real instruments, but
Mm-hmm.
Rock Band 3 gave you the ability to play with real instruments. So I kind of tinkered with that a little bit.
Piano?
I'm getting to that. I I started tinkering with the guitar, and the guitar was hard as fuck. I literally made my fingers bleed while I was trying to learn how to play guitar. And I learned a little bit. I learned bass more because bass, don't kill me, but bass is, to me, it felt a little easier.
It was. It is. I learned how to play the bass because I couldn't handle 6 strings.
So I started tinkering with the piano afterwards. And on the game, like I don't know why, but there are easy songs and there are really difficult songs. I didn't even try the easy songs. I went immediately to the difficult songs. And I'm trying to play these songs and I'm like, this is impossible. I give up. I gave up for a long time. Then I started listening to some Kingdom Hearts piano melodies or whatnot. And I think that was the moment when I was like, I need to learn this. After that, I dedicated a shit ton of my time to learning how to play the piano. And I think I'm pretty decent now.
That's awesome.
I mean, from the time that I've known Killian to now, his piano skills have definitely improved. I remember when I first met him, like one of the only songs he can play was "Memory of Light Waves" from Final
And it was not
Fantasy
even like the
X-2.
whole song. It was like
It was just like a
20-second snippet of it.
But now, like, you know, when he sends me something, it's like an in full song, like really well done. So
I am Setsuna.
Yeah, I am Setsuna. Yeah,
You are Setsuna.
I haven't beaten. I'm literally at that game. I am at the last save point, and I still haven't beaten the fucking final boss. But
I guess I have 2 of them because, you know, I have to be contrary. I am kind of in the same vein as Tiago, but earlier. I think the first game that I got really into as far as like story and the characters meaning something was actually Final Fantasy VI, which was released on the Super Nintendo. It was the first video game that I played that the main bad guy, so to speak, his name's Kefka. Kefka. He was the first time I'd ever like seen a video game where it's not. I don't want to say it's black and white evil, but it wasn't like this guy is in his own level. He liked chaos for the sake of chaos. He didn't serve any kind of higher purpose, which is what a lot of villains did in video games and in TV and movies and stuff like that. There was no higher purpose. He didn't have some tragic backstory. He just wanted to watch the world burn.
They all have
no
tragic
reason.
backstories except for
He
Kefka.
didn't. Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Kefka.
Kefka was just like, I'm a court mage. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for you to do your shit. I'm going to poison the water well and kill everybody. That's his thing. Like that. It was, think Heath Ledger's Joker. And I think Kefka, and it probably isn't, but in my mind, Kefka was based a lot on the Joker. And then I want to say, and I know it's not true, but I want to say that Heath Ledger's performance in Dark Knight
is based off Kefka.
Is based off Kefka. But my second one is actually GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. And that's what taught me that games can bring people together.
Oh, yeah.
Like having a group of friends around, you know, the 4-player split screen, rocket launchers in the temple, putting it on golden or one shot, one kill, and having only slaps so you could karate chop people and they would die.
It's
like
always
that's
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It's amazing.
It was.
That's the game that made me realize that gaming doesn't have to be lonely, or it doesn't have to make you be alone, which I thought was like incredibly impactful as far as me and my gaming life.
That is beautiful.
I love you guys.
This is just something that like I thought, but to your point, like a game that changed your life negatively. This is a really obscure game that probably no one has ever played, but it was on the PS2 and it was called Unlimited Saga. If you like strategy games or strategy RPGs, tactical RPGs, avoid that game like the plague. If you have an old PS2 and you like playing PS2 games, if you're listening to this, do not play that game. It's fucking terrible.
You just
Anyways.
made everybody buy that game. Thank you.
It's fucking awful. The only reason I bought it because it had a fucking demo of Final Fantasy X, and I regret my life buying it. But yeah, anyways.
Brink, that's all I'm saying.
Negatively for me, probably Final Fantasy 14. I love that game so much, but I've spent so much hours playing that damn game.
You need to get off that game.
That
good games, like actual good games.
That I feel like I'm missing out on a lot.
so much. There are so many things that you're missing out on. And I realized I was missing out on stuff once I canceled my sub and started playing other stuff, and I was like, wow, look at all this shit that I'm not playing, which is better.
I still love Final Fantasy 14 to death. I've met a lot of people on there. I met Jaden on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... MMOs are weird. It's a
social MMO.
Basically, MMOs are like, for all intents and purposes, Facebook.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a social interaction while doing other stuff.
The story of how you met me was kind of interesting, Jaden. Do you remember
Go for it.
When I think the level cap was 50 at the time, and I must have been like 45 or something. And the whole guild, free company, whatever you want to call it, was egging me on to hurry up and get to 50 so that we can raid. I remember this, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want to get to 50 because that sounds scary. I don't want to raid. And I think I told Tiago that at some point. I
started raiding beforehand. A shocker, because that's like, I would never do that. But I started like raiding way before he did.
So the way that I got put in everyone's radar, I think, was when I accidentally macroed my name and I started spamming guild chat with my name. And I didn't realize it the entire night. I was spamming guild chat with my name. Killian. And then the very next day, I logged on and I asked the question in guild chat. And I think it was Kale. He said, "Hello, Spammy McSpammy." And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? And that's how I met these people.
Yeah, it was funny because our friend Kale is the one that had to convince me to join that free company in Final Fantasy XIV, where I met both of you, because I don't like people. Call me jaded, but I am very particular about the people that I hang out with online, because I played another Final Fantasy MMO 11 for a very, very long time, and I became extremely close with the people there because it was almost out of necessity, because you leveled so slowly in that game that you were with the same people for long periods of time. And this one, it felt more like WoW to me, where it was like everything leveled incredibly fast, and it didn't really matter what people were doing. It wasn't about people. It was just about like getting from point A to point B as fast as you could. So I didn't want to be in a group that's all they cared about, because I didn't. And it was nice. The free company was very much a balanced mixture of both. So I liked it. I'm glad I met you guys here.
Yeah, I am also glad that I met you guys.
I met everyone in the FC because of Killian, so yeah.
Well, I think that was good.
Sometimes.
I think we're good to go.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
We've been
so
we can go play Destiny 2.
Yeah, we're gonna go play some Destiny 2. Jaden, are you gonna join us?
I don't know. I might go beat the Golden Country DLC because I'm right at the end. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm gonna sleep tonight or not yet.
Join us in chat regardless.
Of course. And for all of you cute little gamers out there, don't forget, when you have to lean forward and put your elbows on your knees, that's the gamer pose.
That is the gamer pose.
Never say that again.
It's true. You know it.
Oh, Lord.
When games get intense, you lean forward and put your elbows on your knees. Everybody does it. I've seen it happen in person.
Thank you guys for listening. We are out.
Take it easy.
Yay.
Game Repose is a production of GameRepose.com. This episode was produced by Killian Ace, Jaden Knight, and Tiago. Funding for Game Repose is provided by its host. If you want to support Game Repose, like, share, and subscribe. Opening music is provided by Husky by the Geek. Find more covers and original music from Husky by the Geek on Facebook. Closing music on this episode is provided by Third Prototype and no copyright sounds. Game Repose and its host are solely responsible for its content.